want be always serving us all up in between they where they want to carry us.
Hey, I never want to waste your time. My mind. So fresh.
We're coming at you from beautiful New Orleans, Louisiana, as the Pelicans prepare to take the court. This is Kevin Harlan along, and now before we...
Well, guys, he has an admiration for what he called the intelligent, efficient offense played by today's opponent. He told me that the thing about this team is that they are so good at identifying the weak spots in it.
Thanks, David. Tip-off goes to New Orleans. Here are the starters for Brooklyn. Lynn and Russell are in the backcourt. Mozgov is out there with Okafor. And it's Crabbe in at the 3 slot. And the New Orleans Pelicans last season with one of the worst offensive rebounding percentages in history.
Yeah, I mean, it improved somewhat with DeMarcus Cousins coming in. But I think really it's the team's philosophy, though. They value getting back in transition more than they value a chance to attack that offensive glass.
New Orleans shooting their first free throw of the night here.
And it's been an average year, really, at the free throw line for this group, only around 75%.
Russell with a wide open look. The basket good off the assist from Lynn. Russell's got himself going with the triple, his first basket of the game. Brooklyn on defense. Their last game, a win against San Antonio, looking to carry that into this one.
Executed on the road, stayed focused, stayed consistent with who you are as a team.
No doubt. I mean, they played to their strengths, and that's what helped them get this road win. I loved how they played for each other.
Miller, the pass to Rondo. Out to the right wing. Shot clock at 6. And Cousins gets it to go.
And with great players, you've got to pick your poison. You'll live with Cousins shooting from mid-range.
Okafor kicks to Russell. Again, Russell missing. Russell's gone 1 of 3 on the night. The pass to Cousins. Here's Clark. He's guarded by Russell. Clark dishes to Davis. And Okafor with the block. Right side Russell. Releases from 15. Good on the shot. Russell's got 5.
Yeah, with the size and quick shot release, Russell a tough cover from mid-range.
Knocked away. Cousins, the pass to Davis. And here we go. Brooklyn fast break. And he got the whistle, so he'll have a 3-point play opportunity.
And having added strength to his wiry frame, Russell able to convert through contact there and draw the foul.
First trip to the free throw line for him tonight.
And really, guys, his percentage from the line at 70 isn't quite up to snuff.
Rondo kicks to Clark. They set the pick. With the floater, he takes it up and lays it in.
He knew what he wanted to do all along. The teardrop.
The dish to Okafor. And just under 2.5 minutes elapsed here in the first. For New Orleans, they've gone 3 of 4 from the field to start out the game. Clark dishes to Davis. Rondo against Lynn. Here's Cousins. And it's good off the back rim and in.
And Cousins imposing inside, but let's face it, he can score from anywhere.
Here's Mozgov. Nice D from Cousins. New Orleans in the lead. Rondo kicks to Davis. No good. That's miss number 2. He's 1 for 3. Now in transition is Lynn. Here we go. So the whistle blows on the shot and 2 free throws for the contact right there. It's on Rajon Rondo.
Well, Kevin, how about the Harvard grad, Jeremy Lin? How far has this guy come from nearly out of the NBA at one point to viable NBA starter? Incredible.
And good on the second, so he makes them both. The Pelicans have gotten 4 of 6 field goal attempts to drop in the first quarter. Screen by Cousins. Miller with a screen on Russell. And that's out of bounds. New Orleans will retain possession. And looking back at last season, here's a look at the 3-point and 2-point shot attempt averages for the Pelicans.
And the three-pointer was their preferred weapon. It can be a risky strategy, but it's one that more and more teams have embraced over the years.
Lin against Rondo, and the shot goes in. Rondo's got his first 2 points.
If he's one thing, he's efficient in the paint. Rondo really good with the positioning there close to the basket.
And that one drops. Several lead changes going on here in the early portion of this game.
It reminds me of that Cameo song, Back and Forth.
Here's Davis. Rebounded by the Nets.
Boy, that's exactly how you have to play defense when he's driving the lane. You cannot give him any space. That was nice, guys. The determination, the toughness, not going to shy away from the boards.
Well, a few things have become clear with Rondo in the past few seasons. One, Greg, he needs to be happy with his situation in order to be productive. And two, he can give you big numbers at times, but he isn't the player he once was on that Celtic team.
Yeah, and Rondo, he's such a hard-headed guy and has his own way of approaching things. If you clash with him, everything goes up in flames with his game. He needs to be on the same page with his coach, and he's running out of coaches who will put up with it.
Pass to Cousins. Shoots over Mozgov. And the Pelicans miss again.
Yeah, with the defense laying off him, you know he's going to pull the trigger. They're lucky he didn't burn him.
And he gets contact and the whistle on the shot. 2 shots coming up. And the foul called on the New Orleans Pelicans. The Nets shooting their 4th and 5th attempts at the free throw line tonight. Doris is a former guard. You know how much energy it takes to run a team and think a game as well as score. I mean, there's a lot on your plate at that position. But backcourt guys get an advantage of playing with a consistently high motor.
Well, Russell Westbrook, in addition to his ferocity, seems to be able to sustain his level of energy across a 48-minute game. I feel like the guy never gets a rest, so he's one high motor guy. I'll tell you a guy who doesn't do it the same way, but still it's required that he has a level of endurance that maybe would shock people is James Harden. Like, the guy has the basketball in his hands. He's #1 priority in terms of the defensive scout. So Russell Westbrook and James Harden, though they go about the job differently, both are phenomenal at having a great endurance and having the ball so much.
Nets leading by 4. Here's Crabbe. Good D by Miller.
Yeah, good interior D there prevents the deuce.
Well, if he wasn't there, that shot's going in. Love the effort on the defensive end.
And now a moment to see the stats for Crabbe. Really been a key contributor over the past month. He's averaging 14 points a game, 3 assists, and 3 rebounds. And this is the kind of strong, steady play you like to see. He's earning his keep and helping them win games.
I think they need more consistency from him, and they're getting it. Look for this to continue. I love it.
Allen kicks to Moore. Clock at 6. They grab their own miss. Cousins off with the layup. Nets have gone 6 of 12 from the field here in the first quarter. Here's Dinwiddie. Allen with the rebound.
Well, can't find the target, but good work to get into open space inside the arc.
Moore in the corner. Takes a 3. Cousins. No good on that one. So Brooklyn will take it the other way. And going against New Orleans, their first meeting of the year.
Not exactly a game that everyone will be talking about here, but both of these teams can show flashes at times.
We're seeing 2 teams that could be building more for the future, trying to instill a winning culture, and we'll see which team takes a step in that direction.
And that's out of bounds. New Orleans will retain possession. Let's use this break to look at the teams that over the past month have been tremendous at converting turnovers into points. #1, the Nets.
And you always like to see aggressive defense, and then when you can convert mistakes into points offensively, that's a big key.
New Orleans making a switch here. Hill's checked in. Allen. And the Pelicans miss again.
Yeah, and even with his range, that one might be asking a little too much.
Yeah, that zip code might extend beyond his range. My goodness, let's take a better shot next time.
And here's Holiday. 8 points his last outing. Ball's knocked loose. And it's out of bounds. The Nets will take it the other way. Almost halfway through the season, let's check out the standings in the East. Taking a look at Brooklyn, they've been in peak form as we've watched them play some tremendous basketball with an eye toward the postseason. And of course, the Cavaliers, 8.5 games behind them.
And right now for the Nets, every NBA season, there's always going to be some big surprises in store. And I think this season, they'd have to be considered one of the biggest of them all.
Oh, no question. And we're deep enough into the season to know, hey, this hasn't happened by accident. They are genuine contenders here. I'll tell you, they're willing to give him that shot, and he takes advantage of it.
From about 19 feet, here's Allen, and then Allen slams it in.
And Kevin, plays like that, really the reason they've got a nice lead right now. Just a great job on the glass.
And Greg, the jam and the follow gets their whole bench jumping. Look at them. They are really into it.
The other bench deflated because that was a rough sequence for the defense. They hated to give up those points, but did nothing to stop it.
The tray. Hollis Jefferson, good. And it's a 10-point Nets lead.
How about the passing? They are moving the ball without any thought, without any individual agenda.
Unhindered, going all the way. Kept alive. Here's Dinwiddie, and there's 2 points. Working on the glass, paying off that time.
And from the opening tip, they have been in complete control of this one.
Yeah, you know, it looks like they've wanted it more. Outstanding hustle and determination throughout.
And they're running. Here's LeVert. That one falls, coming off Dinwiddie's feet.
Defensively, they've been a step slow here to start.
Pelicans trail by 14. Pick up by Hill. Holiday, the pass to Hill. They need this. Here's Cousins. Up and in on the layup. Cousins has got 8 points.
Well, that's one way he can finish, but far from the only way he gets it done. He's got all kinds of tricks up his sleeve.
And it's LeVert missing. Poked loose. Got it up. And released it in time, but it's off the mark. And as the first quarter wraps up, already a double-digit lead. Nets lead by 12. From New Orleans, back in a moment. Welcome back, folks. We'll see if we're in store for a more tightly contested quarter as we move. Here's Whitehead. He had 10 points in the win against San Antonio. And Brooklyn, looking who they've got. We've got Allen. Harris is out there with Whitehead. Then it's Zeller, and it's Carroll in at the 3.
And close to making the defense pay for the lax coverage that time. And now I'll look at DeMarcus Cousins, some numbers on him. This last month, he's been positively spectacular. 2nd in rebounding, 7th in scoring, and he's a defensive ball hawk. You can't let your guard down. Remember, he's 10th in the league in steals per game.
And again, look what he's done so far this season. Wiping the boards clean, ranking 2nd in the league in rebounds. Outstanding effort. On the sideline, let's catch up with Hall of Famer David Aldridge.
Well, guys, the Pelicans do have their challenges, but Anthony Davis remains committed to winning in New Orleans. He said, "I love it here. I don't plan on leaving. I guess I fit into that old school category where I want to try to win where I start my career. That's always been a goal of mine. My goal is to bring a championship here." Kevin?
And David, loyalty does go a long way. Davis is a perfect guy to build your team around. He wants to win. Shots good by Whitehead.
I mean, the number of points they've scored in the paint already here is eye-opening.
Pelicans trail by 10. And Holiday kicks to Hill. Harris on the double team. Holiday against Harris. Here's the teardrop. It's tipped. Zeller dishes to Allen. And it's Allen slamming it down.
I love to see them pound it inside like that, not settling for the perimeter shot.
And we're a little over a minute and a half into the second quarter of action. Nelson, no one around him. Buries it from three-point range.
And that's the shot Nelson's always relied on, and it served him well. He works nonstop on the perimeter, finding the space he needs to get good looks from beyond.
The Pelicans have gone 3 of their first 5 shots to drop here in the second quarter. They get it again. Pass to Holiday. Harris kicks to Zeller, and the jam by Tyler Zeller.
And that's how you make a steal count. Turn it into a quick slam at the other end.
It was really a case, it looked like Greg Anthony right there, if I can say so. It was really a case of a great defensive play triggering some instant offense.
Yeah, and he was so quick to break on that one. A good sign that he read the play.
New Orleans making some changes here. Anthony Davis is checked in for Solomon Hill. Miller comes in for Allen. And Ian Clark subbed in for Drew Holiday. Dishes it to Nelson. And it's out of bounds. The Nets will take it the other way. Let's check out the NBA blocks leaders. Anthony Davis third.
There aren't going to be many nights when you don't see him affect the game with his shot blocking ability.
We're just over 2.5 minutes into the second quarter. Lynn the pass to Russell. Yes! And a nice assist from Lynn. Lynn's got assist number 5 here tonight.
And great play call. Just so often an initiator, Russell can also catch and fire.
Nelson kicks to Cousins. Pelicans keep it alive. And stolen by Russell. Here's Mozgov. And Mozgov throws it down.
You know, we can forget that Mozgov feels comfortable enough putting the ball on the floor to create a chance every so often.
Nelson dishes to Davis. Davis sets a screen. Nelson kicks to Miller. He feeds it to Davis. Over Okafor. And he didn't get quite enough under that one.
Well, you see the struggles he's having getting anything to go.
Yeah, I mean, he's obviously cold right now, but he's trying to find that rhythm. You've got to keep working.
And now you see them starting to really work the ball inside.
Lynn against Nelson. Stolen by Jeremy Lin. Lays it in off the breakaway. And the Nets lead by 20.
And they're just dominating on both ends. And it's reflected now in the score.
Oh, absolutely, Greg. They're absolutely rolling in sync totally on both the offensive and defensive ends.
Cousins, the pass to Miller. Back to Cousins. And nothing is falling for him right now. For Brooklyn, they've gone 7 for 10 here in the second quarter. They'd like to keep up that nice pace. Greg, when you watch DeMarcus Cousins play, you can see the beating he takes in the post, can't you?
Yeah, and that's just how it goes with star centers, with the size and activity of Cousins. Just like Shaq in the sense, big bruising centers are hard to officiate. Other players can lay into them and not even make a dent, but anyone else, it would be a foul.
New Orleans making a switch here. Rondo's checked in. Loads it up for Davis. Oh, a nice defensive play to disrupt the alley-oop. Mozgov dishes to Okafor. Lynn kicks to Crabbe. Back to Lynn. Tries a 3. That's in. He's got 2 made now, and he's shooting 2 for 3.
How many times have we seen a possession like that from them today? Ending with a basket, coming off a pretty pass.
Miller outside, inside. Now on the play, basket counts, so it'll be a 3-point play chance.
If there's a list of the best inside scorers in the NBA, Davis has got to be right at the top. When he gets his hands on the ball down low, you might as well just count it.
Greg, from his one-and-done season at Kentucky, leading college basketball in block shots, we knew Anthony Davis could dominate defensively, but did you have any idea he'd be this good offensively?
None. I mean, with his length and athleticism, you knew he'd have an impact as a finisher. But the way his shooting has developed, it has been remarkable. Now, granted, this was a guy that at one point was recruited to play point guard coming out of high school, but he's playing more like a shooting guard with his skill set. And when engaged, Rondo is special. A triple-double threat who does a little bit of everything for his squad.
Ejuan Moore, he's checked in for Ian Clark. Doris, we know coaches need to win to keep their jobs. However, they need great players to win, which falls on the shoulders of a general manager. So why are more coaches fired for poor team performance than GMs, you think?
You know, I think what's fascinating to me, and this is a supposition I've heard other broadcasters talk about, which I believe should be instituted. Instead of just showing the coach's record on national broadcast, why don't we include the record of the GM? Because the coaches are not ultimately responsible unless they're responsible for both jobs, which we do see on occasion. But to me, the general manager has a significant role to the win-loss record, and both should be included.
And maybe when the owner says, hey, I'll pick the coach, it doesn't affect you. But if you pick the coach, you're tied with that coach. You're joined at the hip.
Great point. Great point.
And it's out of bounds. They say it was last touched by Okafor. New Orleans has gone 1 of 3 from way outside since the start of the second quarter. Outside Rondo, it's Davis on the wing. A 3. The putback.
I'll tell you, it'd be a big help if he could snap out of this cold streak. His shooting has been hurting them.
Here's Dinwiddie. He clangs that one off the back iron, and down it falls. Dinwiddie's got 4 points in the quarter. And the Pelicans shooting 33% in the second quarter. The offense has looked crossed up and confused at times. Outside for Davis. Good on the three-point shot. Davis has got 9 points.
I think you could see early on that he was really with a rhythm and flow tonight, and now he's really starting to take off.
The offense is running well, but more importantly, they're taking the shots they know they can make.
Well, they haven't had to force anything. They're simply moving the ball and working for the best available shot.
And here we go. Brooklyn fast break, and Mozgov throws it down.
Look at the big man getting up and down the floor. Mozgov looking spry out there.
Rondo passes to Cousins. Kicks it to Miller. From about 19 feet, shot clock reset for New Orleans. Davis banked in off the glass. 11 points in the game.
And he is really in a zone right now, playing and scoring with confidence.
And the first timeout called of the game for Brooklyn. So for the Pelicans, Hill, he's checked in for Cousins. Allen comes in for Miller, and it's Drew Holiday in for Rajon Rondo. A big group substitution here for Brooklyn. Allen's checked in for Mozgov. Damari Carroll comes in for Okafor. Harris is checked in for Rondé Hollis-Jefferson. And it's Whitehead in for LeVert. Good on the bucket.
And it's coming easy for them right now. 5 baskets in a row in the paint.
Moore outside. That one, no good. And it's the Nets taking it the other way. And it's Harris off the drive. Here's Dinwiddie. New Orleans has gone 2 for 5 from three-point land since the end of the first. New Orleans moving the ball around. And good, and it takes a nice bounce off the right iron and down. Davis has got 13.
After a shaky start, boy, he's found the range. Good second quarter for him.
Wasted no time on that one. Now here is Holiday. He's averaging just around 8.5 points a game. Feeds it to Hill. 5 to shoot. And more. Kicks to Davis. Over Allen. Got a hand on it. And they force the shot clock violation. Great D. Here's Dinwiddie. So as we conclude the first half, so far fairly one-sided. Thank you, David. And we'll be back for the third quarter of action following halftime.
It's the 2K Sports Halftime Show.
We so hope you enjoyed our first half. Ernie Johnson, Shaquille O'Neal. It's Brooklyn out in front at the half. They are completely in control of the game, leading by a massive amount. Kenny, some perspective, please.
Well, the bench came in and helped them run away with this one. Tremendous job of getting loose, getting open, and drilling shots. You always want that spark off the bench, and these guys delivered.
Shaq, how do you think New Orleans played?
Not pretty to watch how they get torched in the low post, Ernie. When they were playing defense in the post, you know me, Ernie. Barbecue chicken alert, barbecue chicken alert. This team is going to have to up the pressure, play more physical in the second half, start a fight, throw some bowls, let's go.
And we're just about ready for the start of the third.
Well, it's been a one-sided affair so far through the first two quarters, but there's plenty of time to mount a comeback. Well, we all have hobbies outside basketball, Doris. You've said that one of your passions is cooking, and I know this personally. I have to ask, what's your best dish? What's your specialty?
You know, that might be too many to name, but if I were to pick just one, I would probably have to say my chicken tetrazzini is my children's favorite. Boy, I can throw down in the kitchen, Kevin.
Learn that from Mom? Did you just pick that up on your own? How'd you learn to be such a good cook?
You know, my daughter and I, that was one thing that sort of really bonded us. We would watch a little cooking show on TV, head to the kitchen, and try to reproduce it. So Sarah and I did some work.
Love that story. The bigs inside, Davis and Cousins. Rajon Rondo is out there with Ian Clark, and it's Miller in at the small forward. That's Alvin Gentry's 5 as we get into the second half. Davis setting the pick for Rondo. Passes it to Clark. Lets it go with a 3. The rebound by the Nets. Okafor's got his third rebound tonight. Here's Crabbe. Good, and it's Russell picking up the assist. Russell's got 3 assists now in this one.
And you love how Russell keeps his eyes up, rarely misses a guy when he's free. They need a bucket in a big way here to regain some confidence.
Cousins with a screen on Lynn, and it's Clark in the corner. Back to Rondo, and it's blocked.
Boy, they're slow coming out of halftime. Just 0 for 3 to start this half.
Out of bounds, New Orleans will take possession. And a look here at the shot chart for Cousins.
And looking at this shot chart, you can't help but feel that this entire team has played passively on offense. There has been little to nothing going on at the rim or in the paint for that matter. And when you don't attack the defense and put pressure on them down low, you are making life far too easy.
Well, after missing their first 3 shots, they finally get one to go in this half.
Here's Lynn, and Davis sends it back.
He's got that huge wingspan, and boy, does he use it well on the defensive end. If Davis is within shouting distance of the shooter, there's a good chance he'll get a hand on it.
Boy, he's carried his share of the load tonight, Kev, but he might need to carry even more if they're going to turn this thing around.
Crabbe kicks to Lynn. Over Rondo. And again, no good by Brooklyn.
Well, obviously, it's been an off night for him offensively, but give his teammates credit. They've bailed him out. He's still got time to turn it around.
And Davis now top of the key. It's deflected. One-on-one fast break. Lynn dishes to Okafor. Back to Lynn. Rondo with the steal. A little over 2.5 minutes off the clock in this final half of play. Clark the pass to Cousins. Shoots over Mozgov, and Cousins gets it to go. Cousins has got 16.
And not a fun assignment, trying to contain Cousins inside.
The feed to Okafor. Back to Lynn. Puts up a three. Connects from three-point range. He's got 10.
He hits one in the first half, another here. Not prolific, but the defense has to keep an eye on him.
Timeout called here. The Pelicans decide to talk it over.
Well, I mean, he needs to talk to his guys. The interior defense has been horrific.
Absolutely no rim protection whatsoever. At this point, the other team is walking all over them on the inside.
Nelson's checked in for New Orleans. Clark kicks to Cousins. And so he earns a trip to the line. Officials saw the contact, and he'll shoot two.
Yeah, and last season, DeMarcus Cousins moving on in that blockbuster trade. Really impossible to get equal value for a star like Cousins, but he was pleased, I think, to put all the rumors of being traded to bed.
And so DeMarcus Cousins nails both of them. And with Cousins, he found out that he was being traded to the Pelicans while at the All-Star game in New Orleans.
And it's never easy fitting in with another star like the Brow, but Cousins is just so skilled that you knew they would find a balance. And at the end of the day, Cousins seems to be happy with a team who is committed to him.
The 10-footer. Mozgov with the block.
Mozgov's such an effective player. His defensive presence, ability to block shots is so crucial to this team.
A nice shot by Lynn.
And since halftime, they have been locked and loaded from beyond.
Yeah, there's no question about it. Knocking down triples repeatedly, the defense starting to look helpless at this point.
Nelson, no luck for Brooklyn. They've gone 4 of 9 from the floor so far in the third. Here's Russell. Here's Lynn. Again, the Nets for two.
And you can see now they're starting to push the tempo to good effect.
For New Orleans, they've gone a lackluster 3 of 9 from the field since halftime. That's tipped, stolen by Jemery Lin. And again, Brooklyn running the court in transition. He's looking for Crabbe and finds him. Back to Lin. To the middle. And Mozgov throws it down.
Mozgov, the big Russian, takes a little more than that to slow him down.
And turnovers have been the issue for him.
You can see the coaches have gotten into him a little bit about this. They've got to do a better job of taking care of the ball.
Nelson dishes to Cousins. Out to Nelson. Will it go? Brooklyn with the rebound. The pass to Okafor. Here's Mozgov, and Mozgov throws it down.
Yeah, guys, this is what Mozgov brings to the table, right? He's always active on the offensive end and finishing possessions.
Miller, the pass to Cousins. Out of hand on it.
No doubt he's struggling right now from the field. Let's see if he can get it going this quarter.
The offensive rebound, and it's good, 2 points. Okafor's got his second bucket.
He just punishes you on the backboard. I mean, it's pretty deflating for a team trailing big and still giving up second chance opportunities.
You know, I think he senses a team on the ropes and he's looking to put them away. That killer instinct is shining through once again.
Now in transition is Lynn. Here we go. Scooped up. And that one's good. Russell. Russell's got 15.
It's a +5 advantage for them in rebounding after that one.
Screen by Cousins. Clark kicks to Miller. Out to the wing. 6 to shoot. Three-pointer. Nelson drops in the tray. He has 6.
That's just an incredible find coming from the big man. No debating Cousins' smarts on the court. He picks out a pass there that not many guys would have seen.
And the one-hand slam just looks so pretty when it's in his hand and he's the one doing the slam.
Agreed. He is smooth as silk, even on a power finish. They double him with Russell. Knocked away. Here's Lynn. Down goes basket number 6 for him this game. He's taken 12 shots and made half of them.
Not a lot of resistance on the inside, and they're taking full advantage.
Nelson outside. And there's a whistle. That goes on Jeremy Lin. That's his first foul. A big group substitution here for New Orleans. Hill, he's checked in for Cousins. Allen comes in for Miller. Ejuan Moore, he's checked in for Ian Clark. And it's Drew Holiday in for Jameer Nelson. Brooklyn with the ball. They're on a 20-5 run. To the paint. Here's LeVert. He kicks to Dinwiddie. Launches it. And again, Brooklyn with the triple. A minute 20 left to play in the third. Now here is Holiday. He's covered closely. For New Orleans, they have made all of their free throws so far tonight, going 6 for 6. And the first one drops. Some changes for Brooklyn. Crabbe comes in for Harris. And it's Whitehead in for LeVert. And that one goes in. 2 from the line that time. Brooklyn's gone 4 of 6 from three-point land since the start of the second half. Dinwiddie dishes to Allen. Down low. Makes the bucket. Now he's got 5 field goals, 5 for 8 in the game.
And defensively, guys, they've been unable to shut down the middle. And when you look at the Pelicans, you got to expect for them to be one of the top defensive teams in the league. You've got the Twin Towers down low, and Drew Holiday is in the top handful, I think, of defensive point guards in the league.
And Drew Holiday at 6'4", great size for the point guard position.
And his height enables him to cover shooting guards. At the same time, he does a great job of keeping smaller players in front of him.
Moore outside. New Orleans moving the ball around. The kick out to Holiday. And it's off from three-point range.
And with the success they've had rebounding the basketball, they're right where you'd expect them to be, firmly in the driver's seat.
And Carroll gets it to go.
And they've gotten very aggressive on the offensive glass here in the second half, getting a lot of second chance points.
And Jemery Carroll is going to pick up a foul. That's his first foul of the game, and the bonus will go to the free throw line. The Pelicans have gone 9 of 10 from the line, so making the most of their chances.
He's only listed at 6'4", but Holiday plays bigger than that. That's the case on D more than anywhere else. He can guard 3 positions, and there's a lot of value in that.
Foul call that time on the way up. That'll give him 2 chances at the free throw line here. The Nets shooting their 6th and 7th free throws in the game. That free throw missing.
Yeah, and with this increased aggressiveness offensively, Russell shooting more and more free throws.
And he's good on the second. 8 seconds left in the third. The dish to Davis with 4 seconds on the clock. And a foul called on the shot. Got him on the way up that time, so he'll shoot 2 right here. It's on Jahlil Okafor. The Pelicans have been getting it done at the line, 10 for 12. So 1 for 2 that time at the stripe. And at the end of the third quarter, a huge lead in this one may already have been decided. Brooklyn ahead, running away with this one. And we're coming right back after this break to get the fourth quarter underway. And a moment ago, inside the huddle with head coach Alvin Gentry.
Can't get our heads down, all right? We just got to get something out of this. I mean, it's a long...
And we welcome you back as we get going here in the fourth quarter. The final quarter of play can change everything. All right, now a chance to set the floor courtesy of Gatorade. Fourth quarter action, all fueled up and ready to go. So for Brooklyn now, Okafor out there with Allen Crabbe. Then there's Allen. Then it's Russell. And it's Dinwiddie in at the 1. Doris, with defensive rules now allowing teams to play a sort of soft zone, does that make it easier to hide bad defensive players on your team?
Well, it certainly gives you one avenue. I don't think you can play zone in the NBA for any extended periods because the coaching is too good and the skill level of the players would destroy a zone if you gave a steady diet of it. I do believe, however, that hiding a defensive weakness comes down to personnel. How many can you hide on one particular floor? Somebody's going to get exposed somewhere if there's too many.
No doubt. Allen outside. And Allen with the block. They retain possession. 4 on the clock. Here's Moore. Offensive rebound. Now here's Allen. He's guarded by Cram. A Sheik. Persistence pays off as they finally hit a shot.
That's how it's done, gentlemen. You don't pass to a player, you pass to a spot. Let your teammate run into it.
Crab, good.
Three-pointers are killing them at this point, and they haven't been able to respond at the other end.
Screen by Ashik. Holiday, the pass to Allen. Double team on Holiday. Loses his man off the screen and lays it up and in.
Boy, he's able to get to the hoop, Kev, because of that great solid screen.
Here's Dinwiddie. Moore with the steal. Right side Holiday. Another one falls for New Orleans. And for Brooklyn, they're shooting impressively throughout at 62%. Out to Russell. And again, Brooklyn with the triple.
Monster night, and what's scary, Russell's built for many more of these.
They set the pick. Tipped away and stolen by Russell. There's Crab with a 3. That's no basket. His third miss in 8 tries. For New Orleans, they've gone 3 of 6 in the field so far in the fourth quarter. And stolen by Crab. Here's Allen, and it's Allen with the jam.
And racing up the court, you have a number of options and a great decision there.
I love how he took the initiative, right? You took charge of the opportunity and made the right decision.
And that's out of bounds. New Orleans will retain possession. Dante Cunningham's checked in for New Orleans. And then for Brooklyn, Mozgov comes in for Allen. And it's Jeremy Lin in for Spencer Dinwiddie. To the middle. Here's Crab. Yes! And a nice assist from Lin. Crab's got 10 points in just the second half. And Moore kicks to Hill. Screen by Ashik. Hill inside. He's guarded by Crab. And there's a whistle. That goes on Jeremy Lin. That'll be his second foul of the game. Doris, there are always rumblings about teams and players who don't like what the press is writing about them, trying to ban certain media members from the locker room. What's the danger, you think, in doing that?
To me, any credentialed media should never be banned from a locker room, from an opportunity to bring their fans closer to the sport, simply because you object either about the content of the coverage or the amount of coverage does not exclude a media member from the locker room. I think it's a very dangerous precedent, Kev.
Good point. Those 3-pointers off the mark.
Well, he hasn't been a big contributor tonight for sure, but it hasn't prevented them from being in a position to grab the win.
Just a little confusion among the D as to who was supposed to be on it.
Outside, Russell. He dishes it to Okafor. Lin from long range gets that one through the hole, make him now 7 of 13 in this game.
And now he's starting to get it going. 4 3-pointers in the game for him, and 3 have come in this half.
They get a hand on it. Yes, indeed, it is good. He's now 8 for 14.
Well, he's taking a lot of pressure off the other players right now with how well he's shooting it.
They set the pick. Screen by Asik. Hill kicks to Asik. Allen outside. Down to 5 on the shot clock. With some arc, he takes it up and lays it in.
Well, I'll tell you, it takes a lot of confidence to go with the floater. That is not as easy as it looks.
And the shot is good. 24 points for Lin.
Well, that's the craftiness of Jeremy Lin. Explodes to the cup. Really good mixing of speeds.
Screen by Asik. Cunningham dishes it to Nelson. And there's a whistle. That goes on Jeremy Lin. That's his 3rd foul of the game. Doors on the subject of league expansion. Commissioner Silver has said the 30 teams feels about right at this point. How long do you think it's going to be before we add another franchise or two to the NBA?
Right, let me just say that I completely concur with Commissioner Silver. The last thing we want to see when the NBA is at its peak in popularity is expansion that might dilute some of the competitiveness that we want to see happen. The bigger question right now is these super team issues. Are we at a point where there is such disparity between the best teams in the league and the worst? Let's address that first, and then we can look at expansion down the road.
So you do not like the super team aspect that we're beginning to see formulate from time to time?
I don't necessarily want to say that. I think the jury is still out, Kevin. We have to see how the next 2 or 3 years plays out as it relates to both Cleveland and Golden State. I think there was a period in the 80s where it felt like it was the Lakers and the Celtics every year. Let's not overreact, but certainly let's not add teams before we make sure we are where we need to be from a competitiveness standpoint.
Russell against Moore. Pass to Nelson. Oh, that's blocked. Mozgov with it. Pass to Russell. Now Lin. Okafor with no one around. Misses the 3. Moore outside. And Hill has it in the corner. Off target from 3-point range. Brooklyn's gone beyond the arc 7 times here in the 4th and been successful 3 times. Russell inside. Moore's there. Out to Russell. 3-pointer. That's out of bounds. Brooklyn will retain possession. Nets passing it around. Swiped away. Outside Hill. 1:44 left to play in the final quarter. Tipped away. 6 on the shot clock. Lin with the steal. The finish. And it's Okafor missing. The Pelicans have gone 8 of 13 from the field since the start of the 4th, sinking the majority of their shots.
And one team is just completely outclassing the other tonight. Spirited performance, and it really ignited what is turning out to be a monster win here for the Nets.
And this was one that never really was in doubt, I thought, an all-around dominant performance. And you kind of thought that maybe even going into the game.
Yeah, there was a sense of that, and man, they just pretty much blew them right out of the water. A clinic was put on display here today.
And so it'll boost this year's win total for them to 29.
And so they win their first game against this squad. It's a 2-game season series, and they'll be going for the sweep the next time they face off.
And one of the key components to this victory, if not the biggest, was the incredible performance for Lin.
He came out and let everyone know that points would be hard to come by with the way he swatted away shots and protected the rim.
To the paint, here's Nelson. That shot, no good. Excellent D there from Okafor. Right side, Lin. Dishes it to Okafor. He feeds it to Lin. Kicks it to Crab. The 3 gets the 3-pointer to fall.
I'll tell you, when you're the visiting team, it can be hard to maintain focus, but not tonight.
No, I think that they've been locked in during this game. They didn't let the opposing crowd get to them at all. This has been pure domination.
Nelson against Lynn. Ajinça.
You know, contesting shots just so important. Mozgov very committed on the defensive end.
Baseline J on the way. Basket good.
And this is how you close out a game, not taking any chances.
Well, you can't have any room for error late in a game like this, so they put the finishing touches in style.